So is the stock market going back to all-time highs, or is that a stupid question? That's what we're going to find out today. So we brought in, of course, Sami Abusad to let us know what the heck is going on. My name is Michael Camone, Director of Content for T3 Live. Sami, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Having a good day. Thanks, Mike.
Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, so the big story in the market this week, at least after CPI and the debate and all the everything else going on in the world right now, we had this like massive reversal to the upside yesterday, which felt like it caught everybody off guard. It felt like things were really going in the crapper, but things turned around very fast. So, what did you think of that whole move?
Within, I don't want to say within 10 minutes, maybe within 15 minutes of the market bottoming, I said in the room, you heard it from me first. The market has bottomed. So I will stick with what I said yesterday. So I think the market has bottomed. I would be absolutely shocked and amazed if the market were to take out yesterday's low. And if it does, then, who knows, a recession upon us or something. But yeah, I think the market is bottomed for now. We still have a sloppy market. We were in a tight uptrend, and then we weren't really in a tight downtrend, but we were in a somewhat clearly defined downtrend, and then we bottomed. And now, if you look at the bigger picture, still a sloppy market. That's the cues. Oh, I guess I'm not presenting, but
No.
whatever. I'll start the screen share here. So I think the market is bottomed. That's what I'm. How I'm looking at it, and I'm aggressively looking for long trades.
Okay, so what do you think of the small caps here? If this is like endless topic of discussion. IWM is outperforming today for a change. Do you think that there's any change there? I mean, most teams, like a lot of people, are focused on Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon, etc. But what do you think of IWM here?
I don't think there is a change, but if you look at the weekly chart of the IWM, I mean, it is in an uptrend, and there is kind of a trend line over here, right? If you connect the lows, it looks like, we are trending up a little bit and looking higher, but the IWM is been, it's been really tough to read. So we had the breakout, the pullback. At some point, the IWM will take off. Will it be soon? I don't know. But yeah, the IWM is as sloppy as I've ever seen.
Okay, that's saying something because it often looks pretty sloppy. Okay, well, how about Bit? So we've talked about this. Bitcoin has been kind of a mess in this downtrend. What do you think of Bitcoin here?
So Bitcoin had a sell setup failure on the daily chart yesterday. This is the weekly chart of IBIT, but this is a sell setup. So this was a red bar, took out the prior bar's low, and that's a sell setup failure. That's actually bullish. This red bar's low, that might have been the bottom. I mean, this was the bottom, but this was, the retest, and this might have been the higher low in Bitcoin. And we're from here on out, we're looking higher, maybe. But it's incredibly, incredibly sloppy. And as you rightly mentioned, in a longer term downtrend. Now, if we were to look at the monthly is I'm looking at the charts over here because those are actually Bitcoin charts. The monthly chart is up, 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 up. IBIT was only released, in March, I think, of this year. So it's not a very good thing to look at. And then BITO is no longer a good tracking ETF for Bitcoin because I think they pay 74% in dividend. There's like a 74% dividend on it. So it keeps doing a dividend distribution and it keeps gapping down, right? Even when Bitcoin doesn't gap down. So IBIT also is hard to read because it's not a reflection of Bitcoin. But if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, it's up, 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 up on the monthly, and it's been kind of consolidating the last 6-7 months. Maybe with a, downtrending a tiny bit, but more than anything consolidating. So Bitcoin actually in the longer term is still bullish, but in the short term, it turned a bit bearish and just a little, very, 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 very sloppy. It's even more sloppy than the IWM for sure. But look, Bitcoin is an asset, like equities, the stock market is an asset. So I think if if the stock market is higher, Bitcoin will eventually find its way back up. And we might have this red bar's low might have been actually the bottom on this recent drop. This is the bottom, right? But this might have been the recent bottom here. So that's how I'm reading it. But it is hard to make out, to figure out what the pattern is in Bitcoin, really.
Okay. Why don't we turn to gold, because gold has been an absolute monster this year. You know, GLD gapped up again today. It's beating the SPY, and it still feels, you know, the gold bugs have always been there. They've never shut up about gold, but gold really feels like it's in some kind of zone right now. So what do you think about gold?
Just all out bullish. Was consolidated for about a month and then broke out today. So gold is just insanely bullish. But it's not bullish because of the possibility of a recession. So it's not bullish because money is flowing into it and out of the equities. It's bullish because it's bullish. I don't know why it's bullish exactly, but it's not bullish because people are using it as a hedge. I don't think so. It's been bullish for a long time. So gold is just bullish, really, really bullish.
Yeah, gold is definitely weird because it's been around forever, but it seems like it correlates to absolutely nothing. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, sometimes it correlates. It has an inverse correlation to the market, as a hedge, right? It's similar to real estate. Like during recessions, sometimes real estate prices go up because people move out of the stock market and put their money in real estate. So the same thing with gold, but sometimes and the same with oil too, in a sense, sometimes it has negative correlation to the market, and sometimes it doesn't have any correlation. So I think right now gold does not have any correlation to the market, to the stock market, and it's just completely on its own page and continues to look beautiful. That's the daily. Here's the monthly. Looks gorgeous. So nothing more to it. What a beautiful breakout right here. And then just never looked back. Probably never took out a prior bar's low. Check it out. Never took out a prior bar's low after that breakout. Beautiful. On the monthly chart.
Beautiful. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So I want to talk about something that made me feel really, really stupid. So I noticed that one of the biggest winners in Sammy's newsletter right now is Ferrari.
Uh-huh.
You know, he got in at 429 on July 8th. It's at like 472 right now, because this just seems like a perennial grand slam of a brand, because every time they release a car, they have like a 5-year waiting list. The demand just seems out of control. So it's like a perfect story stock, but Sammy is like a technical guy. So how did Ferrari like take off so fast?
Well, I thought, I was about to order one, and I thought, with my last name, they might not let me in the club. So I figured I'd just buy the stock. No, I'm kidding. It was just a beautiful, beautiful weekly breakout. That's all there is to it. I'm not too thrilled about the last few days, last couple of weeks. It's pulling back, but that's part of the stock market. You can't control every little move, but look at the weekly. I mean, just picture perfect breakout. So, and I bought it before it even broke out because it was going to be a big stop if I waited for the all-time high to get taken out. So right now it's pulling back, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Breakout. Yeah.
Okay. So related is Tesla. So Sammy's been a long time bull on Tesla. He has inside the newsletter TSLL. He has, which is it double Tesla or triple? Yeah. So he got in at 983 on August 13th. Now it's almost at 11, and Tesla's been one of the best stocks in the queues. So, Sammy, why Tesla?
I added to Tesla, by the way. I got it at 904 right here, and then I added to it on the buy setup right here. So 2 different positions in the newsletter. So why Tesla? Because if you look at the monthly on Tesla, this is the TSL. Let's look at the Tesla. If you look at the monthly on Tesla, first I noticed, this what I call the battle bar. It's basically a narrow body, but a wide range bar. So it's a big bar with a narrow body. I call it the battle bar. It's my favorite reversal bar of all time. So I noticed that bar, okay, which formed after earnings when it gapped up, right? So if we go back, this is how it formed. There it is. That's basically what created the narrow body bar. It's a strong so it was in a strong downtrend and then a quick reversal. So that created that big battle. And then the buyers obviously won the battle, the breakout, right? And then it collapsed a little bit, got back down to the area where it broke out from. A lot of support right here. So this was a perfect place and time to buy it. And then it gave us, so this was a great novice gap down to buy. And then, but, for the newsletter, for the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter, we're not day trading. We're doing, I call plays after the close. So I called it long right here, basically, as a breakout. And then I added to it on the buy setup. So first, going back to the monthly, we have that battle bar. And then I'm notice that 20 MA starting to point up. So it's trying to transition. Very sloppy, very tricky. But if you look at the bigger picture, Tesla is trying to transition. And I think at some point will pop really hard and get back to the all-time high. That's what I think. Just like almost every other big name has already made it to the prior high. Tesla's the only one that hasn't. And I think its time is coming. So that's kind of the idea behind it. I have it in my IRA account, and I have it in my swing account or long-term account. So it's my biggest position by far.
Okay. And do you drive a Tesla, Sammy?
I do have a Tesla as well. Correct.
Do you like it?
I like it a lot. I mean, it handles like a Porsche, honestly, almost. But then when you throw in FSD, I mean, it's just FSD is phenomenal on the highway. It drives way better than I do. Never makes a mistake on the highway. In town, not as good, but still drives pretty darn good. So I love FSD. Whenever I want to take a nap on the road, put on my sunglasses, turn on FSD, turn on minimal lane changes, so it just stays in the same lane. Don't have to worry about it.
So you really sleep in it while it's going?
I really have dozed off many times while it's going, and I don't feel afraid or anything because it just never makes a mistake on the highway. Like not once, if it's on the highway, not once. So yeah, FSD is phenomenal already. The only thing about FSD is that it gets really hard to fix the little things that, like, it gets, let's say 9 out of 10 decision. No, let's say it gets 95 out of 100 decisions right. So, every time, it changes lanes, it does anything, that's a decision. So it gets 95% of the decisions correct, or maybe 97, 98. But then the last 2%, that 99, 100, those are really hard to program, because those are situations where you have to kind of, how do you program into the car? Somebody, let's say, the car is the road is clear, but somebody jumps in front of you, and then you have on the one side, on the other side, you have a horse that just fell from the sky. These weird scenarios that to the human eye, it's what to do. Like it's intuitive. You know exactly what to do, right? But to a car, to a machine, it's not intuitive. To all of a sudden, let's just say I said the horse. I'm obviously just joking, but you get somebody that jumps in front of you, but then on the other side there's a bicyclist also, so you can't go to the left, you can't go to the right. So some weird situations that the car has never seen before. So those are the ones that will take time to figure out, and that's where AI comes in, because it's not so much about programming, it's about machine learning. And that's what Elon is trying to do with the FSD. Initially, it was about programming it, but he realized that that's not going to work, because you can't program every single scenario, and then you can't also scale it. If you were to map a certain area inch by inch, like Waymo's doing, Google and other companies, you can do it for that one area, but how are you going to do it for the whole world? So that's why, Elon is going with the camera vision and trying to train the FSD on millions and millions of videos, so that it develops kind of intuition for what to do no matter what the situation is. So I love FSD. I feel like a boss when I'm just driving, chilling, and the car is actually driving me, chauffeuring me, so to speak. I mean, when do I get that experience? So I really, really enjoy it. On the other hand, my girlfriend doesn't like it so much, because she's just a driver. She likes to drive. I don't like to drive. I like to just sit, relax, enjoy, and let the car drive. So, it's not for everyone, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's interesting. I was wondering if we could get you in the car with your laptop trading Tesla stock while the car is driving you around.
The issue is they have a camera, a cabin in the cabin, and so it watches your eyes if you're paying attention or not. So if you're looking at the laptop, it's going to know, and it's going to start to kind of beep and alert you to pay attention. So yeah, that wouldn't work.
That's funny. That was my first thought. I was like, can we get Sammy driving and trading at the same time? Interesting, because like I live in New York, and which is like a terrible place to drive and a terrible place to have a nice car. The number of Teslas here I see is shocking. It is unbelievable how many people own Teslas here. Like I could not believe it. But yeah, I agree. It's like, I think Tesla has such a head start on like the AI and like vision technology that I think all the other car companies are going to end up licensing it. And I think Tesla is going to be like Microsoft for cars.
For Windows, exactly.
Yeah, because
exactly. And then also I've driven other EVs like Audi and I don't know what else. They don't drive like a Tesla at all. I mean, and I'm talking like I test drove top of the line EVs. They don't handle like a Tesla. They don't drive like a Tesla. So they might look a lot more fancy. My brother has a really fancy EV, the Audi GT. It's like $140,000 car, and it looks sick. It looks really, really good. Looks way better than my Tesla. It's not my Tesla. It's actually my girlfriend's. But it doesn't drive like a Tesla. I would definitely take the Tesla over it in terms of the handling, in terms of the way it drives. So I really like the company. I like what they're doing. I like where they're headed. Like you said, they have a moat, when it comes to technology and when it comes to just about everything concerning EVs and AI, that I think it has a bright future. But at the end of the day, I'm a chartist, and I'm just trading it. I'm investing in it based on the chart, not based on the story so much. And the chart to me looks good. Very sloppy, very hard to hold big positions through these wild, moves up and down. It's hard, but if you keep your eyes on the bigger time frames, if you're focused on the bigger time frames, then that's what I'm trying to do at least.
Okay, and which Tesla do you have? Do you have a Model S?
No, I have the Model Y Performance.
Okay, so Sammy, so a final question. So I just saw you got an eBay a couple days ago, and this fits this interesting trend because Sammy sort of has a lot of these old school stocks like 3M and AT&T. I saw Zoom and Roblox in the newsletter today, and eBay. And this is another one. I can't remember the last time I heard anybody talk about eBay, and it's having seems like it's having a moment right now. So why eBay?
Remember that live stream we did together as a group?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it because it looks good. Just I don't remember the last time I was on eBay myself, how many months ago or years or whatever. But look at every chart. Here's the monthly. Looks higher, doesn't it? With room to move up. With a lot of room to move up. Look at the weekly. broke out over here. Then it was setting up for another breakout. And look at the daily. Every time frame looked good. So here's really where it should have been entered into the first time. And here's the second entry, which was what I called in the newsletter a couple of days ago. So it just looks good. Now, do I know anything about their business? Or, I mean, do I know how they're doing business-wise? I don't. But the chart, the stock says higher. So I bought it. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. That's going to wrap us up. So, guys, if you want to learn more about Sammy's trading methodology, go to t3live.com/essay, t3live.com/essay, and make sure you tune in again next week, because Sammy just keeps coming up with these boring stocks that end up doing really, really well. This is the season of the unsexy stocks. So I hope you guys are paying attention. Again, everybody, go to t3live.com/essay. Sammy, have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Mike.